So the book of Daniel is so relevant to us today because it describes how do you not only survive in Babylon, but how do you thrive? How do you grow in your faith? How do you take a stand? How do you live for what is right without being a jerk, without ostracizing yourself, without escaping,
Right.
into a monastery? How do you do it? Daniel did, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did, and I think the book of Daniel exists to help us do the same today.
And it was important to note, too, the deeper that I read into this, because as I told you in the introduction, I always thought he was sort of a pacifist about it. Well, Daniel didn't witness. Well, actually, no, he did. He did quite a bit, and even particularly after Nebuchadnezzar, when Belshazzar had summoned him up and asked him, literally, what is this writing on the wall? What does this mean? And he told him, well, God says your days are numbered. You're going down. That's what's happening, and here's why. Because you knew what you were doing was wrong, and yet you still did it. You threw caution to the wind, you threw respect to the wind, and you still did it anyway.
There are several prominent leaders in the book of Daniel, but you're so right, Dana, because two of these in particular need to be considered in this day and age as we're thinking about our leaders.
Right.
The first is Nebuchadnezzar, who was a man so arrogant that he had a 90-foot tall statue of himself built out of pure gold, and he demanded that people worship it. He was just the essence of arrogance. He is the pompous king.